Hey, hello everyone, welcome to today's video. It is the 30th of September, last day of the month. I'm Chris here with Televiv Cafe. Let's take a look at the markets. They continue to act pretty well in here, fairly strong. There was a bit of weakness today, but not much, and we recovered pretty well into the close. As you can see, we're looking at the Nasdaq Composite continuing to trend above the 20 and the 50-day moving average, which pretty decent closes in here after a three-wave sell-off. So we're looking to see if we can make a new all-time high above 25,000. The ES, so the S&P 500 had a nice reversal here a few days back after, again, 3 days of selling with a touch of that 20-day. I spoke about this yesterday. The closes here continue to be pretty good, and I can't argue with the tape at the moment. It looks fairly strong. RTY, which is the Russell 2000 in here, look at about 3 touches of the 20-day moving average. I like today's close. Yesterday was a bit of a close towards the low, but we didn't manage to have further momentum. So as long as this kind of daily lows remain intact, I think we're doing fine, and we're looking for further upside. Looking at the Dow Jones, that's also seems to be preparing for a further breakout. When you look at the equal weight, which again, it's a matter of looking at breadth, and if you see if there's a lot of participation in here, that looks pretty good, even better than some of the indices, I might say, in here, prepping for a pretty massive breakout above 190. If we look at the equal weight in terms of the Nasdaq 100, that's also looking fine. So listen, we're in a pretty decent bull market, pretty decent uptrend. And until proven otherwise, I would not fight this out. I'll show you a few stocks that I have. SOX also closing towards the highs. NVDA, it's one of the stocks that broke out today. I initiated a long position on that today. Bitcoin, I do like it. I'm starting to nibble very slowly in here as it's breaking above these key moving averages. But I'm going to be more confident, as I said yesterday, above this 11,800 zone, at least on the futures here, so we can, get further aggressive for further upside. But it's acting pretty well after a failure to break below this 108 zone. So this looks pretty nice and decent. I talked about wave counts, I think, yesterday, so go ahead and check that out. The price action here continues to be responsive to that, and it looks like it wants to challenge those highs, and above those it would be a signal to move. Ethereum, I'm not that confident in yet. I do like the corrective move, and if Bitcoin goes, Ethereum should follow per se, but each market on its own, and until this responds a bit better, I'm not going to touch it. Same for the XRP. It's been rejected from these lower prices, but it really hasn't gotten any traction, so I'll stay away from Ethereum. And for XRP for the moment, I prefer Bitcoin and the way it's behaving. 10-year yields are they're fine here at about 414, so nothing much there. The dollar index, it's been selling off after a reaction back to 98.5. It's pretty much a flat market, no direction there. And then gold, it made a new all-time high today, almost 3,900 here on the futures, and it looks pretty strong. I mean, you can't argue with this. It's in an uptrend. It does absolutely nothing wrong. Same for silver, a little bit of a sell-off, but until you basically get back above this 44 zone, we're not talking correction just yet. So, then we're looking a bit of copper. Sometimes I take a look at it. I think it's probably going to continue to go higher. Oil has been selling off, and then VIX, it's sitting at about 1775 without any, I know there's this talk about the government shutdown maybe tonight, what have you. The markets don't seem to really care. We'll see how we open tomorrow and if anything happens. So taking a look at some of the markets I have CoreWeave long this one. It is 136. I'm long from the zone, 136.85 trading. I think they had some news regarding Meta today and some kind of an investment into their company. VRT is another one of my longs in here, trying to break out of a pretty big consolidation here, looking for this to travel further up. I'm also long Hood on the breakout of this zone in here about 130, so looking higher on that. Kava, it's one of my long-term holdings, and it's still not behaving well. We'll see. It's just a dog. Then NVIDIA broke above this 185, so I'm long NVIDIA as of today. And then Zscaler, also long after it's done this trip. It's starting to kind of look like a big inverted head and shoulder, like it's making a base and it wants to turn higher, we'll see we'll probably get out below 280 280 zone in here. Okay, so I'll leave it at that, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.